Hi all, this is Vishal Singhal from Selstad, your host for today. So we have Ms. Sakshi Bhargav, our uh, member at Self-Study iLab as well as intern at Ericsson. So, she will be taking us through the text generation basics and technology. So let's get started. This session is being recorded. I'll be sharing the link of the same as to where it will be posted then while the webinar is on. I suggest if you have any questions, you can keep asking them as they come to your mind, and we will try to answer them on the slide or towards the end as the time permits. So, transferring the controls, Aki,
Okay.
go ahead.
Is my screen visible?
Yeah, thank you.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. I am Sakshi Bhargav and today I am going to take the webinar on text generation. So first of all, I would like to like you all to know about me. I've already told my name. I'm Sakshi Bhargav. I'm employed at Ericsson and I'm pursuing my artificial intelligence PG program from Selftrack. Just in case you want to check my social accounts, I have LinkedIn and GitHub link attached on this slide. You may also mail me if you have any queries related to the topic. Okay, so before I get into session overview, I would like to address the problem of text generation. Like, how important is it for our market area to work on text generation problems? So, with the latest developments and improvements in the field of deep learning and artificial intelligence, many exacting tasks of natural language processing are becoming facile to implement and execute. So the text generation is one of the such tasks which can be architectured using deep learning models. So I have used recurrent neural network which I'll be explaining in detail in my further slides. We are also going to check the dependencies between characters and conditional probabilities of characters in sequences. These are important concepts which you will be unable to understand, but as we'll move further, you will be getting what I'm talking about. So let's get into session overview. The first part will be about introduction of text generation. So I'll be explaining in layman terms what text generation is, and then we'll be diving deep into the model which I've built. Then I'll be discussing about libraries needed, the basic libraries without which you cannot build text generation model. Then I'll be discussing about recurrent neural networks. Why is it important and why have I used only this deep learning model in my project? Then comes LSTM, which is a type of recurrent neural networks. I'll be discussing what three main parts my code has been built on. Then I'll be discussing how I've built text generation model using LSTM. I'll be discussing about the data sets that I've used to train my model. LSTM is a very important term when it comes to text generation models. Then I'll be discussing about training LSTM model, coming to how have I predicted and how my compilation of the model has been done, what are the parameters, then how can I or you can improve the results of the model if you build it, and finally the code demo. By session overview and the webinar that I have designed, I am focusing on making you understand everything priorly before we get into code demo so that it is very easy for you to understand what, how and why I have written what in my code. Next, you can see a diagram on my screen. So in on my screen, you can see there is a document on one side and there is a document on other side. So the document on the first side has all the data sets, all the predefined data that we are going to give to our model. Then comes the layer, different layers, and there is a zigzag pattern over it, which says that we are going to train a model, which is a representation of training a model. And finally, once our model has been trained on predefined data, we will be able to build a new, entirely new sequence of text, which will be formed in another document, which is the output now. Moving to introduction to text generation. So the text generation is type of language modeling problem. Now what do I mean by language modeling problem? I am modulating each and every text in my problem. I will be changing the sequence. I will be modeling it, modulating it in a better way or in a entirely different way. So language modeling is the core problem for the number of text conversational systems. Text summarization. Not only this, but when it comes to speech recognition and text recognition, we need text generation at that time also. So for summarizing, for speech to text, all these problems in the market use text generation method to work upon them. Okay. A trained language model learns the likelihood of occurrence of word based on previous sequence of words used in the text. So as I've explained in my previous slide, the diagram. So I'll be having the diagram says that I'll be having the text, and on the basis of that text, new sequence will be built. Language models can be operated at character level, maybe at sentence level, even at paragraph level or alphabet level. So it is upon you how you choose your model to be trained on. Coming to libraries needed. So you might be knowing about TensorFlow and Keras. So there is a prerequisite for this particular webinar, that is you need to know basics of deep learning and RNN. Though I'll be recapitulating each one of them for you, but still you need to know about
Akshi, you are not audible.
TensorFlow is one of the most famous deep learning library which is used. Am I
Your voice
audible
is,
now?
you are audible now, but your voice is disappearing off and on. Please check your connection.
Oh, actually it's raining. It's raining here, so there might be a
Sure.
problem with network. Now am I clear?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Okay. So TensorFlow is one of the most famous open source deep learning library. It was made by Google in 2015 and developers around the world are using it for building AI and machine learning projects all over the world. Okay. So this library is basically used for numerical computation, which means that all the numerical data, our computer understands all the numerical values, that is 1 0 or numbers, nothing else. So for understanding that numerical value, we need a library which is known as TensorFlow, which will be computing amazingly smoothly on our computers when we will be training our deep learning model. It helps developers through the process of training models, getting data, and forecasting results, and also for updating model changes. So, this is the basics of TensorFlow, which helps our model to work better and helps the deep learning models, not our model, every deep learning model to perform better. Coming to Keras, Keras is open source network library which is majorly written in Python. So it is generally an API for TensorFlow. It runs over TensorFlow, PlaidML, Theano, etc. It was developed for experimenting with deep learning problems so that we can easily and efficiently tackle each one of them. So before I get into recurrent neural network, I would like you all to know that what are we aiming and what is the aim or the target for this webinar. So in this webinar, I will explain how to create a language model for generating natural language text by implementing and training recurrent neural network. So the core of this webinar is recurrent neural network altogether. I'll be using a Python programming language for this purpose. The objective of this model is to generate new text given that some text is already present. So I'll be showing you my data set when we'll be reaching the slide for data set so that you can understand what type of data set have I given to the model. And the objective of this model is to generate new text from input text. Okay, so we'll be diving into the architectural process of this. Coming to recurrent neural network, so recurrent neural network is in short called as RNN, which is a type of neural network where the output of the previous step is fed to the input. to the current step. So if you can see the diagram on my screen, there is input, there is hidden layer, and there is output. So what it does is it takes input and feeds to output. Now once the output has been fed with input, now this is the new input for another cell. Okay, for another cycle, it is output will be our input. So thus RNN came into existence, which solved the issue of help of hidden layer. So the hidden layer is a very important part which I'll be discussing in LSTM. What was the problem with RNN and how was it overcome using LSTM? The main and the most important feature of RNN is hidden layer, which remembers some information about the sequence. So input when fed to hidden layer remembers the sequence of input. Then it feeds to output, which means that hidden layer is helping output to understand what type of input we have. Okay, so before we get into LSTM, we need to understand why LSTM we are using LSTM in our model, not some other why are we not using simple RNN or JRU etc. We are using LSTM. Why? So the memory state in RNN gives an advantage over traditional neural networks, but there is a problem for vanishing gradient. Okay, so for that we need to have some model like while learning with a large number of layers, it becomes really hard for the network to learn and tune parameters for earlier layers. So for addressing this problem, we are particular over LSTM, which is long short term memory. Okay, what does it has? It has cell in it, which helps to overcome this vanishing gradient problem. Okay, so as said that LSTM have an additional state called cell, cell state, through which the network makes adjustment. So the information which was sometimes missing in RNN hidden layer is now being processed through cell state. Okay, coming to LSTM particularly, now it is often used to build stable deep learning models. It can remember sequences in data elements which could be used to train models. The model which we are going to build using LSTM architecture is to remember the occurrence of words. Now, what does that mean? The occurrence of words is like the data set that we'll be providing to our system will be having some words that are occurring frequently. So there is a frequency of words. To understand those occurrences of words, LSTM can help our model to understand what are we trying to generate or what is the text about. Now you might have got a basic understanding of each of the element. That is for LSTM we have input, we have LSTM cell state, and then we have output. Okay, so this model will be used for text generation particularly. Now, LSTM has additional state called cell state, which I've already discussed, through which the network makes adjustment in the information flow. The advantage of this state is that the model can remember or forget the learnings more selectively through the three layers in the model. That is, what are the three layers? Input, the cell state, the LSTM layer, and finally, what do we have is output layer. Okay, I've also discussed the four layers. There are majorly three layers, but I've discussed four layers in my slide. So what does it do? It basically remembers or forgets depending on the frequency of the words occurring. LSTM will remember or forget the pattern of our data set. So input layer, as the name suggests, will be working on sequence of words as input. LSTM layer will be computing on LSTM units, making it understand what is the threshold, what is the frequency, how to manage, what to forget and what to remember. Just suppose that I have 100 units in the layer, it will be tuning slowly and steadily. I'll be showing you how I've tuned my model. Third, dropout layer. Dropout layer will be helping for regularization, which randomly turns off the activation of some neurons. Okay, so it will regularize our LSTM layer. That is why it is very important. We want our model to prevent, we want our model to prevent overfitting. For that, we really need a model that can a layer which can basically help our LSTM layer to manage or regularize. Final one is output layer, which computes the probability of best possible next word as output. So based on the basis of this, we will be finally giving this output layer will act as an input layer for another cycle. That is for next cell, which will be the input layer 2. Okay. Coming to the three main parts of the code. The three main parts of the code are data preparation. So first I prepared my data according to the result I want. Then I've done the model training, and finally I've predicted what? Predicted the new sequence, entirely new sequence of text, and I've stored it in my text document. Okay. I would like you all to know this part, that deep learning algorithms require GPU for fast processing. So if you're using Google Colab, make sure that your system has GPU available, okay? So that you can run it nicely. I've worked on Google Colab. Next one, you can see how am I building my generation model with LSTM. So I have basically mentioned all the libraries in my slide. So the first library is for Google Colab import files. For importing my files, my data files to Google Colab, I would need I will need a library. Okay, so I've used this NumPy for handling on numerical Python programs. Now categorical, dividing my text into categories. Sequential, I want a sequence of every text that I have. Okay. Dense, going to dense layer and finding. LSTM I've already explained. Embedding, how do we embed? We will be talking about each one of them in further slides. Then I've imported string, just to have strings of each and every text. Then I have tokenizer. Tokenizer is a very important part of this, and I have included it in the in the further slides, which is a whole topic in itself. Then categorical, which I've already discussed. Finally, how do we import word tokenize? Okay. So now the data set I have is, the data set I'm using is for Harry Potter part 1, that is the Philosopher's Stone, and Harry Potter part 2, that is Chamber of Secrets. So I have these two books that I would like you to see. So this is my book 1, where I have saved the book, downloaded and saved it in TXT format. Also I have second book, Philosopher's Stone. So this is the complete book that I have. Okay. So I have both of these books, and the all the text that I have in these books is known as corpus. So corpus is the collection of text documents that I have to feed to my model to understand what am I going through. Coming to data preparation, so you can see the document and you can see the summary, which is the type of text generation. So reading the document, it generates a sequence of words or sequence of sentences or paragraphs, depending upon the length and everything, that can help me have a good summary of that document. Talking about data preparation, now comes all the important part: tokenizers, sequences, vectors, etc. So when the first thing that we will be doing is we will perform tokenization. Now what tokenization is, we will be learning now, and then we will do encoding with tokenizer. Okay, so you've seen two in the previous slides. You have seen two libraries, that is from Keras I am importing class of tokenizer, then word tokenize. So I'll be needing tokenization class differently, and I'll be needing tokenizer for encoding my text. Okay, so that my computer can understand, because computer cannot understand the English language. So we need a proper vectors and proper matrices to make it understand that what are we talking about. You will be seeing it in the code. For tokenization, we will be using tokenization class, which is inbuilt in Keras. So I have Keras and I am using the classes from Keras itself. Now for encoding, we will be using the text to sequences. Now once you have text, you need to build sequences for each one of them so that you can form a good summary out of that document. Okay, by which we will get vectors from the text. Now this sequence has to be in numbers itself so that computer can generate a number, and depending on that number we will be tokenizing each letter, each word with sort of numbers. So for numbers we will be needing vectors, and that vectors will be telling computer, okay, this is this word. After this step, every text document in the dataset is converted into sequence of tokens. You will be seeing all of this. Okay. So in the previous slide only, the data preparation slide only, in this step, we'll do a very important task of sequence generation. So like how the importance of tokenization is there, the same way sequence generation is also important. For each input text, we will be creating a sequence of data that will be in matrices, I've already told. Now we have, when we will be generating a data set that will be containing a sequence of tokens. Now it is not important that all the data set will be having equal length. So for managing that unequal length, we will be using paired sequences. This is a type of sequence so that every word has equal length and we can give it a number very easily. Okay. So to once this input will be this input we give, that is the paired sequenced input with tokenization, sequencing, everything. What we can treat, I've already told that you can treat the text or the input in various forms. That is how you can work on it as a paragraph or an alphabet or a sentence, whatever you wish to. So it will be converting it. Okay. Coming back to tokenizer. So tokenization is a process of extracting tokens, that is terms or words from the corpus. I've already told what corpus is. So it will be extracting terms and words. Python's library Keras has inbuilt tokenization class, okay, which will be indexing each corpus. Next, we need to convert corpus into flat data set of sentence sequence. So this is the function that I have wrote, which is I am importing tokenizer class, then I am using tokenization function, fitting all my text into the sequence list which I've already created. I'm fitting all my tokens to that sequence list. Once it has been done, I'm generating sequences.
Question, Sakshi.
Yes.
How is the book split into documents?
Books are converted into document in the same way. This is text generation. So one of the type is text summarization. So the books are being summarized into documents. That is what I have used for my data set. Okay, so the whole book has been documentized into some uh, some format, maybe PDF or whatever, and that is being used. So because I cannot use 500 pages of book for my model, because I cannot train it on such a large data. So I have created the document of that book using text summarization, which is one of the problem of text generation. And then I have used the same for my model. And this will help my model to generate a more smaller or the more compact way of text, which I'll be showing in my code.
Okay.
Okay. Where were we? Okay, we were discussing tokenization. So, the steps that we need to do while we are tokenizing. Okay, so our model architecture has been already built till now. So tokenization, sequence, pad generation, everything has been done. Data set I've shown. I'll be showing how I prepared my data, but the model generation or the model architecture for our model has been built. So next, what we will do is we will have input words or seed texts. What are you will be seeing seed text word in my code. So I want to tell you what seed text is. These are input words. So I am giving my input words to the model so that it can train and then produce output of it. Okay. So what happens is the seed text has, then the text is tokenized, it is padded, then what happens, it is able to predict the next word. The multiple predicted words can be appended together to get predicted sequence. So from here we'll be starting how sequences and what do we need for our whole process of model architecture. Okay. So creating sequence. So first step is after tokenization, you need to create sequence. So as I have told in previous slide that the sequence should have some length which is fixed for each data. So every data should have equal length. Then only our computer can give it a code. Okay, so creating sequence is a very important step. Now, unique identifier. Here, sequence is a list of sublist having words represented with their unique ID. Once the sequence have been generated, our computer will be giving ID to each word. So this is the unique identifier. Like if just in case the word gets repeated, okay? So if the word gets repeated, what will happen is we will be giving a unique ID to it. So if it is like he, so he'll be given two. So every time he will be coming, that unique identifier will be giving same ID to he, so that it does not get confused between the two. Okay, for better understanding of the computer. Then comes index number. So index number will be helping us to check if what is the unique idea of this name. So if he has two and if you give two, you will get to know, okay, he has been given to two number index. Okay, so this is replacement of it. To check what word we have, we can use index number. Okay, from the dictionary we can easily find, okay, this is the number which is in dictionary. Then comes vocabulary size. So all the unique words, by unique words I mean that all the words will which are occurring many times will be given one word, will be taken as one word, one ID, one index number, and that will be added to vocabulary. And this vocabulary size has been um calculated, or the length of the vocabulary size has been checked using length function. Okay, coming to training LSTM model. So the LSTM model, I've already told what LSTM does. So we have these layers which are working on it. That is another part, that we have the representation that I've shown, input layer, output layer, etc. Those are another part. But when we are building this model, we will have to work on these parts, what I have mentioned in my slide. So the first one is sequential model. This type of model will allow our model to build or add layers. It will add layers to our model so that it can code itself. Then I've told you about embedding layer while we were discussing about libraries. So what does embedding layer do? It learns embedding of all words in the model. Where should that word come while creating a sequence? Embedding those words. Okay. Everything has the meaning as the word is. Okay, so the word is itself a meaning of that. So LSTM layer, what does it do? LSTM layer is a basic layer. We know that it remembers and forgets whatever we want it to remember and forget, and generates, helps generating sequences. Okay, so this is LSTM layer. The dense layer, which is fully connected neural network layer, in which each input node is connected to each output node. Okay, so the thing I've shown, input layer, hidden layer, output layer. Now, when another this type of diagram will be shown, the output of first one will be connected to input of second one. Okay, and this will be using activation function. Okay, so this activates this cycle. Finally, we can print the summary of our model generated so far. So after adding all these layers, you will see that the summary has been generated for the same. Okay, it will give the functionality and parameters of, we will be talking about it, functionality and parameters. Okay, then comes prediction. Okay, now is the time to test how a model works. The prediction does this. You can see the thing I was explaining. T is input, maybe E is output. Now E is being supplied to input to the next part of the cell. Okay, the LSTM cell. So this is how it is working, giving sequences. And RNN is known for generating sequences. Okay, like CNN is basically used for understanding the images. RNN is used for creating sequences. Okay, so here we will be using a function that will generate text which depends on input text and will be able to predict the word sequences. So prediction is about this. The text depends on input text and the number of words. Okay, so the text which we have as data set is input text and word sequences which we will be predicting. Then we will first tokenize, as I've told, we'll pad the sequences, we'll train the model, and then the prediction part comes. Prediction is the final step that we need to do. This is the output which we will be generating. Okay, then the multiple predicted words can be appended, and then finally the sequence has is formed. Okay, now for last step, for compiling the model, we need some parameters for compilation process. Those are loss. We need to minimize loss as much as possible for our model to work efficiently. Optimizer will help in good or fast execution. Metrics, it is the value which we want to print while compiling. Okay. Fit, we will be fitting input. Fit means we are putting all the data that is input and output in our model so that it helps us finding, it fits it and helps us find the sequence, that is the output sequence. Batch size, it is the number of nodes which has to be processed before the model is updated. And epochs are the number of iterations, number of times we want our model to run and improve its accuracy. The final thing is results. How can we improve the results? Okay, so I have built a model, but that can be improved. How? By adding more data, by adding more LSTM layers, by fine tuning the network and for making it run for longer and longer epochs. Okay, so we'll be moving towards the code now. Okay, so the first part of it I've already made you understand, that the Google Colab files will be imported. All the libraries are there. Okay. Then the file dot upload is what file do I want to upload, because I've used Google dot Colab import files, which is it is helping me to upload a file from my system itself. Okay. So the book one, which is the Philosopher's Stone dot txt, you can see it here in the choose, under the choose files. I'm highlighting it. Okay, so the Philosopher's Stone.txt is being used here. Okay, it gets uploaded. Now I'm checking what is my book name. I'm checking what type of book do I have. uh just a minute. Okay, so we have skipped a part. Okay, import globe. What does it do? It helps in generating patterns from our book. So the book we have, that is txt, it will be generating the patterns. Okay, all the card patterns are being studied here. Codex, what does it do? It will be coding it for us. Okay, the strings are being taken out from the book. As you can see, we are reading the strings, we are opening the book, we are reading the corpus. So we are printing the characters in the corpus. Corpus is the collection of text documents that we have. Then we will be importing string, we'll be splitting it, and then see we have the data. Okay, like 33 has nothing, then we have this data for every index number, we have this. Okay, then we are creating sequences, as I have told you. So for each index we'll be creating sequences. Now I'm tokenizing everything, because for my computer to understand this text, it has to be tokenized. So tokenization has been done. Then
Sakshi, do you have,
the thing
excuse me,
I,
do you have this
yes,
code on a Collab notebook on your GitHub?
yeah, I have been uploading that there are some changes that I have to make. That is a very minor changes. I have to increase the epoch and then I'll be uploading it by evening itself.
So audience, you will be able to get it on our GitHub. So people are asking
Yeah,
for
yeah.
it. So yeah, thank you.
Okay. Getting the vocabulary size. I've already explained that the vocabulary the vocabularies, all the unique words that we needed. Then see, I have converted it into matrices so that computer can understand, okay, this is what we need to do. Also, I've done the padding. Then comes the length part, and see the important part. The model building is this this part. Model sequential, adding layers to it. So the way I've explained each layer, I have added in that sequence only. So the vocabulary size is this. Okay, we have LSTM, we have dense layer, we have activation function, everything. How do we want our loss to reduce optimizer matrices, whatever I have explained in the PPT. The model this is reading the model, generating embedding layer. Now I have done it for first 10 epochs. So I've set the batch size to 128. So, so what is the batch size? Batch size is how many batches do I want to create, how many groups of data I want, and then I want it to process. So I have epochs 10. I am building my first model here. So you can see the loss is 6.5591 and then it is decreasing. And slowly on each epoch, my accuracy is increasing. So when I was telling you about how to increase the result, the improve how to improve the code, I was telling you that you can increase epochs. Okay, so first 10. See, when I've given epochs 10, this is how the accuracy is increasing. Now, the same thing I have done to improve my model and check that, okay, how am I going to, the same thing is done. See, you will have to, I have taken 10 epochs. After these 10 epochs, I've again taken 10 epochs, padded, then the sequencing, encoded everything, and input has been generated. And see, after that 10 epochs, this is the summary that it produces. Okay, so how it produces that I have told you about C text. C text is input text. I gave it the input text of he did not. He has to generate the sequences after he did not. Then the second text I gave, as Harry raised his wand. Now it has to create the sequences after that. So this is the sequences that those are created. See, he did not. He was a bit of first 2000 had been, as he was a bit of first 2000. So the accuracy is not that good. That is why we are generating text like this. This was not in the book. It has been generated by itself. Okay. Then I have improved the accuracy by after giving 10 more epochs to it. So the model has been trained on the epochs, and see the loss has been decreased, and again the accuracy is increasing. Then comes this again, the same thing has been done, padding of the sequences, tokenizing, and then given input, same input, he did not. So now he say he was a bit of the first time and then he was a bit of the first time. And this is how it increases. First we were having words uh, which were random. Now the same word is the same lines are being repeated. The same way I've done it 3 to 4 times, okay, to improve my accuracy. This is done for 10 epochs again, third model. This generates this now, okay. See, he did not fade and he said softly, Angelina, relax, and the twins and silence. So this is now improved. Same way I've done it for next 2 epochs also, but the output has not been generated due to some like network problem maybe. So the same is being done and accuracy has been improved after 50 epochs. Okay, so this was my code. And finally, I would like you all to check my GitHub profile for the same code. And thank you for giving your time. You can ask questions if you have.
Audience, any questions? Question is, in this code, can you explain the part where the book is split into documents?
I have already explained it in PPT. Just a minute. I guess it is.
Also, another question is, what would be the loss function we have used?
We have used ReLU. Okay, so this is how the document is converted into summary. I have already told about it, how it does that. It takes some sequences and we are summarizing it, okay? A part of it, a paragraph. Like I've given a paragraph of it. I've given a text document and a paragraph is being generated because I've given input. He did not. So it will take it as input and generate possible sequences for that only. Okay, so this is how I've the explanation for tokenization and sequences that I've done. The same is done for the document and the summary.
Thanks. Another question is, uh, here does the document refer to the entire book?
No, the document has been summarized already. You can find data sets on internet very easily. It is not entire book. It is a summarization of that 500 600 pages of book, and then I have further summarized it, so you can find the data set easily on internet.
Okay. Any other questions, audience? And Sakshi, can you show your
Yeah, sure.
contact details page again for people to connect? Yeah, so you all can contact her on the given credentials here as well as see her data profile for this collab and other code shared. Any other questions you may have? I have already shared the link where it will be posted on YouTube in 2 to 3 days time. So you have said that loss function you have used is ReLU, but whereas one gentleman is saying it is the activation function. What is the loss function that you have used?
Just a minute, I'll check. Yeah, activation function is ReLU only. Categorical cross entropy. This is the loss function I have used. And optimizer add-in.
Okay. Getting any more questions, so we would like to close it here. So thank you all for
Okay.
attending, and thank you Sakshi for this great presentation. We see that most webinars she has taken, she almost get 50% plus attendance. So thank you Sakshi for all the good topics, and thank you all for attending. Have a good day ahead.
Thank you, Vishal.